So, following the success of last week's Zoom, which I think went down particularly well, we had a very, very good response. I've asked Peter Harnden if he'll join us again this week. A couple of subjects that I'd like to mention again, at least in a slightly different angle. And I believe there's a couple of subjects that you've brought up, Peter. A couple of things that you wanted to talk about. What have you got?
Yeah, it's just people. It's what people have asked me about, etc. And said, "But I speak about it, etc." To see what my view are on things. So, it's always good to have something out there what people want to talk about or discuss.
Yeah. Now, I gathered from one of the things you wanted to talk about was this idea of vehicles for trainers.
Yeah, I've been talking to Mark Mosley today regarding vehicles, and he's been looking at different vehicles to what could be used and speaking to vehicle manufacturers. And I've asked him to go down a different route and look to some of these professional body manufacturers which work at the moment for the horse racing industry. You see some beautiful horse boxes going around, not the big flash ones, the smaller transit size horse boxes which are going around.
Yeah.
And it's a very saturated market for the horse builders, the horse box builders. So I said, why don't we speak to one of them and see what they can come up with and see if they can produce something for a specification for us as dog trainers. And I think they could be very special. Some of them are really, really nice. There is a mention of the cost, etc. But same as I pointed out, some of these horse racing people, they're not, mega rich.
No.
They have to be financed, either leased. And these companies will have dealt with finance, etc. before. So, let's see what they can come up with and see if we can produce something which is really nice. The vehicle I produced was a Tesco vehicle. So I worked around something which was already manufactured. And what these people will do will actually manufacture something specific for us as a ground industry. So I thought it was worth seeing what they came up with.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to combine the two, because I remember when we ran the story before about your van, and then we ran some graphics that Chris Michaels had produced. I thought they were absolutely stunning. If you could combine the two, get the volume of vehicles where you pledge to buy X number of vehicles as an industry, and then obviously get them liveried out in the same kind of standard.
For me, it's getting the professional look out there on the road, etc. And you see these horse spots going by, and they're all sponsored up, liveried up with sponsors' names on, etc. They look professional. So Joe Public sees these driving around, etc. Why can't we, as a grain industry as well, have some of these really, really smart-looking professional vehicles driving around? And then we start suddenly getting away from this cloth cap image, and they're like, we've seen these ground vehicles going around, aren't they? Flash, they must be. They probably say they're making some money in that industry, but it's getting that different view across, that we're not all got beaten up old vans, etc. And we've got some real nice vehicles going around.
You'd also get a standard of welfare as well, wouldn't you? Built in, because if the first version was approved by GBGB, you can then guarantee that all the cages are the right sizes, that the aircon is of adequate ability, and so on and so on.
Well, and that's it. The Joe Public will see these vehicles out there and see the look of them, and they'll be thinking it's a professional industry. That is, they are looking after them dogs, etc. Have you seen them vehicles? What they've got? It's just all that public perception and getting the look out there, what you want people to see.